In the vastness of space, the Ulysses station hung like a shimmering pearl, surrounded by the tumultuous waters of the alien planet Thalassa. Here, humans and the Thalassans, an amphibious race with luminescent skin and gills, attempted to coexist. Yet, beneath the surface, old fears and prejudices lurked like predators in the depths. Petty Officer Mia Reynolds stood at the observation deck, her heart heavy with the weight of the day's duties. As a skilled engineer on Ulysses Station, she was used to fixing problems, but today, she grappled with something deeper, an ache for connection in a world divided. The Thalassans, with their melodic language and intricate social customs, had always intrigued her, but years of tension between Earth and Thalassa had created an unbridgeable gap. As she worked, the station's intercom crackled. Petty Officer Reynolds, report to the command center immediately. Her stomach dropped. Command was rarely good news. She hurried through the metallic corridors, her mind racing with possibilities. In the command center, she found her superior, Commander Delaney, flanked by grim-faced diplomats. "We have a situation," Delaney began. "A Thalassan child has gone missing, last seen near the coral reefs. We're receiving reports of a rogue current. We're denying any search and rescue efforts until further notice. This could escalate tensions." Mia's heart pounded. The child was drowning, and every second counted. "Sir, we can't just leave them." "That's not our jurisdiction, Reynolds." Delaney snapped. "We don't want to provoke them." But in that moment, all Mia could see was the child, lost and frightened beneath the waves. A vision of her younger brother, who had once been lost in a storm, flashed in her mind. The weight of duty battled with her sense of compassion. Against her better judgment, Mia turned to her fellow crew member, Lieutenant Sam Torres, her trusted friend. "We have to do something. I can't stand by." Torres hesitated, then nodded. "I'll help you. But if we get caught." "We won't." Mia gritted her teeth, determination igniting within her. They gathered their gear, ready to plunge into the alien waters. As they suited up, Mia's hands shook with adrenaline and fear. The bioluminescent waters of Thalassa were both mesmerizing and terrifying. What if she couldn't find the child? What if the Thalassans misunderstood her intentions? The thought of starting a diplomatic crisis twisted her stomach. Diving into the ocean was like entering another world. The vibrant colors swirled around her as she descended, the water enveloping her in a cool embrace. A sense of wonder filled her, but the urgency of the mission sharpened her focus. She had to find the child. Suddenly, a powerful current swept through the reef, threatening to drag her deeper. She fought against it, her heart racing as panic set in. She glanced at Torres, who signaled they should stick together. Just as they steadied themselves, she saw it, an outline amidst the coral. A small figure struggling against the waves. "Mia!" Torres shouted, but the current swallowed his voice. With a deep breath, she pushed forward, every stroke a battle against the tide. The child's gills flared in distress, their bright skin dimming under the pressure. As she reached the child, Mia wrapped her arms around the small, slippery body. "I've got you. Hold on." With every ounce of strength, she kicked towards the surface, but the current was relentless. Doubt gnawed at her. Would she make it? A dark shadow loomed above her, and Mia's instincts screamed at her to surface, but she couldn't abandon the child. Using her last reserves of energy, she fought against the ocean's grasp, desperate to bring them both to safety. Finally breaking the surface, they gasped for air, but the ordeal was far from over. A Thalassan guard approached, their skin glowing with agitation. "Human! Release the child." Mia's heart raced. "I saved them. They were drowning." The guard's expression shifted from anger to confusion, and a small crowd began to gather. Fear mingled with awe as the Thalassans processed what had just happened. Mia felt the weight of their scrutiny, the potential consequences of her actions looming like a storm. Suddenly, a loud horn blared from Ulysses' station, a signal of impending diplomatic disaster. She realized the implications. Her unauthorized rescue could ignite tensions between Earth and Thalassa, reinforcing old prejudices. With the child safely in her arms, Mia was whisked back to the station, but the damage had been done. Delaney awaited them, fury etched on his face. "What were you thinking?" "I couldn't let them drown," Mia shouted, defiance rising within her. "We can't ignore life for politics." The room fell silent, the gravity of her words hanging in the air. But the politicians quickly regained composure. "This will not go unnoticed, petty officer. You may have endangered us all." As the days passed, Mia faced the fallout of her decision. News of the incident spread like wildfire, igniting protests both for and against her actions. The Thalassans hailed her as a hero, while back on Earth, xenophobic factions rallied, claiming her actions jeopardized their safety. Mia found herself at the center of a storm, her once quiet life shattered. The pressure mounted as diplomatic discussions grew fraught, with accusations flying and misunderstandings deepening. She felt trapped between worlds humanity's fear and the Thalassans' gratitude. Yet, as she walked through the station, she saw glimpses of hope. Humans and Thalassans began to engage, discussing their differences and seeking understanding. Conversations sparked in the hallways, and slowly, barriers began to crumble. In the end, Mia's act of compassion forced everyone to confront their biases. The crisis became a catalyst for change, opening doors to dialogue that had been long shut. As she stood by the observation deck once more, watching the Thalassan waters glimmering beneath the twin suns, she felt a sense of belonging. It had taken a leap of faith, but perhaps compassion could bridge even the widest divides. The true challenge lay ahead, but for the first time, Mia believed they might just find a way to coexist together.